Stam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the thousands listening locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Shetland!
Friday morning here on Steve Shetler Media, the Morning Wake Up, brought to us by Stam Garden Center in Oskaloosa. Let's take a look at their information. Stam Garden Center and Nursery, where you can experience the color. They are open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Sundays. Get in there this weekend at Stam Garden Center and experience the color in Oskaloosa. We are broadcasting live from the Oski Dental Studios. You can call and schedule an appointment with Dr. Schuster or Dr. Drawn at Oski Dental, 641-673-4845. We thank Stams and Oski Dental for being sponsors here on Steve Shetler Media. We are into a Friday. Let's get a look at our weekend weather, which is brought to us by the Garden Gate, located at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. See Cindy Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays 9 to noon. Fresh floral arrangements, jewelry, home decor, sympathy gifts. They got something for everyone at the Garden Gate. And widespread frost, a possibility for this morning. If you're just now waking up, a little bit of frost out there. Otherwise, sunshine today and 58 breezy west winds. Could see some gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 32, still rather breezy. Tomorrow, sunshine and 51. Northwest winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Some widespread frost tomorrow night into Sunday morning. Partly cloudy, a low of 31. And then widespread frost when we wake up Sunday morning, otherwise sunny and a high of 60. Right now, our current conditions in southeast Iowa, humidity at 85%, winds are west at 5 to 10 miles per hour, the barometer at 30.22 and 34 degrees right now in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. A little bit earlier this morning here on Steve Shetler Media Facebook, we put up our this or that. What do you think? What do you like? You can scroll back through your Facebook feed and comment on that. This is breakfast. I like breakfast any time of the day. I could eat eggs, bacon, toast, hash brown, whatever you throw at me for breakfast. I'm eating it. So this or that. That is dinner. Do you call it dinner or do you call it supper? I tend to call it supper. But it's this or that. What do you think? Breakfast or dinner? It's brought to us by Stacy Flynn, the Legacy Insurance Group, and Welcome Realty. Coming up later on today at noon, we always put out our question of the day. It's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa at 202 North Main in Sigourney. What's the best name for a pet that you've ever heard? What do you think? You can comment on that at noon when that question comes out for you. What's the best name for a pet that you have ever heard? I've had a ton of pets. Jasper, Snickers. Currently, we have a Daisy, a Hank, a Stella, an Esther, a Buzz the parrot. We've got Fatty the cat outside. So what do you think? And my wife and I, we're guilty. We've already picked out our names for our future dogs as well. Anyway, what's the best name for a pet that you've ever heard? That'll be our question of the day. Let's see here. Going on in our For the Fun of It tournament, we've got our current matchup, Faith Hill and Winona. In fact, let's take a look at that graphic right now. Faith going against Winona in our 90s Country Female Superstar tournament. Faith has the lead. Now, Winona does have her fair share of votes, but Faith definitely has the lead on this. You can vote on this matchup, which went live last evening on my Facebook page. Give a thumbs up for Faith or a heart for Winona. And get your votes until 6 p.m. this evening. The winner will move into the Final Four. Let's take a look at that once again. So you got Shania Twain on one side of the bracket in the Final Four. Then on the other, you've got Faith versus Winona right now. Coming up on Sunday night into Monday, we'll have Reba versus Patty Loveless. And then we'll also have Martina versus Jody Messina coming up next week. So and then we'll run through that Final Four and have a champion crowned by the end of next week. So our 90s Country Female Superstar For the Fun of It tournament, sponsored by Sarah's Quickie Delivery in the Oskaloosa area. Delivering food in the Oskaloosa area, call 641-638-0756. Coming up later on today, it is a Friday. That means we are going to pack up the equipment and go to Barn Wired in Sigourney. On the south side of the square in Sigourney, Jake Beatty making his debut on the Iowa Music Showcase live at Barn Wired. That'll be today from 11:30 to noon. Live interview, live original tunes. It's all live. If you want to be part of the live audience, just come on up to Barn Wired. We're going to have a good time. We always have fun. We always have a nice crowd there at Barn Wired, sipping on coffee and eating some lunch, doing some shopping. So check it out if you want to. Live and in person at Barn Wired in Sigourney for the Iowa Music Showcase today and every Friday from 11:30 to noon. Or, of course, you can just sit back and relax wherever you're at on your phone, on your maybe your tablet, your computer, and watch the Iowa Music Showcase live here on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then coming up tomorrow morning, we will be going to Brothers Market in Sigourney for the sports section. Jenny Hobbs is your spring host, and we'll have a guest coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., as we do every Saturday morning at 8 a.m., live at Brothers Market in Sigourney. So make sure you tune in then. I'm trying to think, do we have anything else? Let's check out some items on our community calendar. And on the calendar, I'm trying to get some things for this weekend. One thing that is going on the Oskaloosa Square tomorrow is the Crisis Intervention Services and just having a good time from 1 to 6 on the square in Oskaloosa, promoting Sexual Assault Awareness Month with activities, a family fun carnival. They've got refreshments. They've got music with Iowa's Sierra Griggs from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow, a coloring contest, all sorts of fun going on tomorrow. Again, this is on the Oskaloosa Square from 1 to 6 p.m. tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. What else do we got going on? I'm trying to pick things real quick that are going on this weekend in the area. Now, we've talked about this for a little while. Later on today, this morning, the poverty simulation in Oskaloosa at the Mahaska County YMCA. That's from 9 to noon. If you have ever wondered what it's like to live in poverty, that is today from 9 to noon. It could be an eye-opening experience for you. And I don't know if I've got anything else going on this weekend in particular. So we'll just kind of throw this up. Another Oskaloosa event, the Mahaska Chamber and Development Group 25th Annual Scholarship Golf Outing coming up on Friday, May 10th. You can see the information there for that. So some events on our community calendar here on Steve Shetler Media. All right, we are doing the morning wake up, and it's brought to us by Stam Garden Center and Nursery in Oskaloosa. And we are broadcasting live from the Oski Dental Studios. Call 641-673-4845. Let's get to our good mornings. Dan was number one. He was waiting for the show to start today. So we've got Dan Adams, Nancy, Tracy. Yes, it is Friday. Thank you, Lord. Cindy, Dodie, Sherry, Mary, Sandy, Sherry, Renee, Bubby, Amber. Good to see everybody up and at 'em this morning here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. Happy birthday. Grab my soda. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, birthdays for today. My screen is frozen there for a second, but birthdays for today. Let's see here. The old fart on the list today. Actress Eleanor Donahue from Father Knows Best. She was Betty from Father Knows Best, and also the show Get a Life. Eleanor Donahue is 87 years old today. Actor Tim Curry in lots of movies over the years. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Home Alone 2, Three Musketeers. Tim Curry, 78 years old. Baseball player Frank Viola Jr. In his prime, back in the late 80s, early 90s, Frank Viola for the Twins, for the Mets, pitcher, 64 years old. IndyCar racer Al Unser Jr. is 62. Actress Ashley Judd, her sister Winona in our current matchup on the For the Fun of It tournament, Winona. But Ashley, it's all about Ashley today. Ashley Judd turning 56 years old. Actor James Franco is 46. Actress Kate Hudson is 45. Actor Hayden Christensen, the guy that was Anakin Skywalker, still plays his role as Darth Vader occasionally to this day, is 43. And then tennis player Maria Sharapova, 37 years old. On this date, which today is April 19th, on this date in history, it was today back in 1775, the American Revolutionary War began with the battles of Lexington and Concord. It was on this date in 1897, people were getting their run on for the very first Boston Marathon. That was the first marathon race in the United States. And it also was the very first Boston Marathon. So the Boston Marathon debuting 1897. It was on this date, 1939, Connecticut finally approved the Bill of Rights. This date in 1977, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that spanking school children is not cruel and unusual punishment. Of course, good luck getting away with that today. That ain't happening. On this date in 1985, a record-setting 22-inch bubblegum bubble, can you imagine that, was blown. Again, 22-inch bubblegum bubble. That's a big bubble. Back in 1985. Today, according to the National Day calendar, today is National Stress Awareness Day. Oh, I think we're all aware of our own stress. Just to make sure you're aware of your stress, today is National Stress Awareness Day. Does that stress you out? It's National Garlic Day. It's National Amaretto Day, and it's National Hanging Out Day. If you want to hang out with me, you can come up to Barnwired later on today in Sigourney. Let's see here. I think we've already come to that point in the show where we're going to take a little bit of a commercial break. We're going to hear from our main sponsor of the morning wake up, Stam Garden Center in Oskaloosa. We'll be back with more right after this.
Sam Garden Center, your one-stop shop for spring. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
All right, and after that brief pause, I was doing that pause for dramatic stuff. Did it work? Things you need to know. Let's hit that music. Come on now. Woo! Things you need to know. Hey, thanks, Amber. Appreciate that. Amber giving me a tip. Several tips. Like that. Hey, and things you need to know today. Ashanti. Is she a singer? I think she is. Ashanti has confirmed that she's expecting a baby with Nelly. Nelly is the baby daddy. It's her first child, his third. So Nelly and Ashanti, congratulations, you crazy kids. Let's see here. Dickie Betts, co-founder and guitarist for the Allman Brothers, has lost his battle with cancer, sadly, at the age of 80. He's the one that you're here singing on Ramblin' Man. Again, Dickie Betts of the Allman Brothers passing away. A new study. Can you hang on 1 second. Let me check my phone. All right. A new study says that Americans check their phones 144 times a day. See what I did there? I was checking my phone. Yep. That was a joke. Actor Warwick Davis, the little guy, posted a heartfelt message about his wife who passed away last month at the age of 53. The two of them met on the set of the movie Willow. You also know him. He's had roles in several movies. I think some of the Harry Potter movies, Star Wars stuff. Warwick Davis, his wife, passing away at the age of 53. Let's go to the Kennedy family. A bunch of the Kennedys have endorsed Joe Biden for president, which basically is a slap to the face of Robert Kennedy Jr., who is also running for president. Prince Harry has officially announced he is renouncing his British residency and has declared the U.S. his new country. I bet British folks aren't too happy about that. Let's go to the Trump campaign. In a letter this week, the Trump presidential campaign asked all GOP campaigns for at least a 5% cut of the money raised from advertising that features him. So yeah, he's basically asking all GOP campaigns again, if they have him in their campaigns, if they're featuring his likeness, he's wanting a little bit of the money. Tom Selleck. This is just kind of random stuff. Tom Selleck says that he has never sent a text message in his life. He also doesn't email. So I guess it's a phone call, a fax, or smoke signals if you want to get a hold of Tom Selleck. O.J. Simpson, he died last week, and we were told that he was, quote-unquote, surrounded by his family and his children. However, his longtime attorney says the truth is there was only one person there when he died. So were there a bunch of people, a bunch of his loved ones, or was there just one person? Don't know. A fossil found on a British beach could be the remains of a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur that I can't pronounce. Ichthyosaur. Sounds more like a disease. We've got a case of the ichthyosaurs, which lived 200 million years ago. Who was around 200 million years ago to know that the ichthyosaur was around? I don't know. Science says it's that way. They were kind of a lizard fish. Ooh. And they say this particular one could have been 82 feet long. Neat. So the fossil, remains of an ichthyosaur, found on a British beach. How about Clint Eastwood? He's saying this film, Juror Number 2, is going to be his final film. It has been completed now. Nicholas Holt stars with Toni Collette. And Kiefer Sutherland also in the cast. No release date has been set, but Clint Eastwood supposedly going to be hanging it up after this film. And then finally, John Lennon and Paul McCartney's sons, Sean Ono Lennon and James McCartney, have released a song together called Primrose Hill. So if you're a Beatles fan, you might want to check that out for the sons of Lennon and McCartney. And some food news. New soda flavors are on the way from Dr. Pepper. As of May 1st, you'll be able to enjoy, I would not enjoy this, Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut, barf, and Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut Zero. So if you like coconut, you like Dr. Pepper, might want to keep an eye out for that starting May 1st. Cheerios. In some other food news, by the way, yum, 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 yum. Cheerios bringing back a flavor and introducing a new one coming to a store near you, Fruity Cheerios, and also Peach Mango Cheerios. And then, sadly, oh no, this can't be true. There's talk at Red Lobster about filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. No. I love to eat out occasionally at Red Lobster. Sirloin and the crunchy shrimp and their biscuits. Please don't go away, Red Lobster. Please. Let's jump into this. Today's Impossible. Oh, boy. Today's impossible question. 30% of brides would go back in time and change this about their wedding. What is it? What is this? 30% of brides would go back in time and change this about their wedding. Good morning to you, Dustin. Thanks for joining us this morning. Again, 30% of brides would go back in time, change this about their wedding. They would change the venue. So 3 out of 10 would change the venue. Let's see here. Let's save that. Let's get weird.
That is weird.
That is weird. In some weird today, a water tower in a small Texas town overflowed in January, spilling tens of thousands of gallons of water into the streets. Now, Google-owned cybersecurity company Mandiant says the incident in Muleshoe, Texas. How about that for a town name? Muleshoe. I live in Muleshoe. Maybe the first hack into U.S. water systems by Russia. After infiltrators tied to one of that country's most well-known hacking groups claimed responsibility on Telegram. So, maybe Russia? Evidently, they were like, let's try to hack into Muleshoe, Texas's water system. And maybe they did. I don't know. Other stuff in weird news. Hundreds of young dancers in white tutus and tightly coiffed hair gathered in New York's Plaza Hotel on Wednesday to break the world record for dancing on point in one place. The spectacle was organized by Youth America Grand Prix. The dancers included students aged 9 to 19. They had 353 ballerinas in one place dancing on point. Evidently, that was a new Guinness World Record because everybody was waiting with bated breath for that record to be broken. In some other weird news, a massive jawbone. Maybe this is talking about that. Yeah, I think it is. We're talking about that Ichthyosaurus or whatever it was called earlier. A massive jawbone found by a father-daughter fossil collecting duo on a beach in Somerset. Again, this is in Britain. Along the English coast, belonged to a newfound species that's likely the largest known marine reptile to swim in Earth's oceans. And we said earlier, this fish lizard, the ichthyosaur, was about 82 feet long, the equivalent of 2 city buses. How would you like to run into that in the ocean? The ichthyosaur. Again, that jawbone found on the beaches in Britain. Some other weird news, a gun store in Maine is drawing in customers with more than just its selection of firearms. It also counts a pet cow as among its employees. Adam Hensby, the owner of A&G Shooting in Fairfield, Maine, said the miniature zebu calf named Cade took an unusual route to becoming the store's goodwill ambassador. They said the mom had rejected him, so he was shivering and cold and laying in some mud in the woods. We found him, and me and my wife brought him in the house and warmed him up and kept him alive. So now the cow is the pet of the gun store in Maine. Might want to check that one out online. And finally, in some weird news today, a wedding ring lost on Texas's Galveston Island was returned to its owner's finger after being found by a couple attempting to remove an old net from the sand. Let's see here. A couple was visiting their family and realized hours after digging through the sand that her wedding ring set was missing from her finger. Maldonado enlisted the help of some groups on Facebook for metal detecting enthusiasts to go out and try to find the ring, and by golly, Ned, the metal detectors did their work. They found the ring, contacted the couple, and it was soon back on her finger. Isn't that good? That's some good weird news, I guess. Let's do the files of law and disorder. In some disorder today, a man was arrested Tuesday after Traverse City Police said he assaulted another man during an argument. Lieutenant Ryan Taylor with the Traverse City Police Department said officers were called around 9 p.m. Monday for reports of an assault. Now, this area where the police were called, the Pines, is near the Grand Traverse Commons, where those experiencing homelessness camp. So you have a camp of homeless folks. Officers were told the victim, a 27-year-old man, brought food to the campsite, and a 20-year-old was upset because he didn't like the food, so he attacked the man. The lieutenant says the victim, the suspect that didn't like the food that was brought started swinging either a machete or a hatchet at the victim, who then picked up a shovel to defend himself. So it was a kind of a bizarre sword fight between a machete and a shovel. Officers looked for the suspect on Monday night, but were, of course, unable to find him. The suspect was actually found and arrested Tuesday morning for felonious assault. So imagine that. A guy with a shovel battling a guy with a machete in a homeless camp because the guy didn't like the food that the other guy brought. That's... Let's turn the tables here. Let's go to something that will hopefully make you smile.
Something that makes you smile.
Something to make you smile, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental. If you're searching for a dentist in Sigourney, call Lifetime Dental at 641-622-2669. They are accepting new patients. Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental in Sigourney, bringing us something to make you smile. And in something to make you smile, let's see here. I guess we're going to go with this. Genetics-based one-and-done vaccines for the flu and COVID-19 could prove more effective and easier to craft than current shots, according to researchers. These new vaccines would target viruses using a different response to infection than what is prompted by current vaccines. Instead of teaching the immune system to create antibodies to fight off a specific virus, the new vaccine would instead teach the body to create small signaling RNA proteins that will shut down harmful viral spread. So some good news if you're into those things. Flu and COVID vaccines. So something to make you smile, maybe. Brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions. Let's go to the duh.
Duh. Duh? Duh.
In some duh today, a video showing a group of people in North Carolina manhandling black bear cubs and taking photos has gone viral. The scene, captured on camera on Tuesday, shows roughly 6 people reaching into a tree to remove the cubs and bring them over a fence. Again, they are messing with wild black bear cubs. One woman appears to take a selfie with a cub, then drops it and chases after it as it tries to run away. Police were called to intervene. A member of the state's Wildlife Commission was also called to assist. Do they realize that Mama Bear was probably not too far away and could rip them to shreds at any given moment? The cub appeared unharmed, she said, and was transferred to a rehab facility. They say trees are babysitters for black bear mothers, places where they can keep their young safe while they forage for food. They let them know how irresponsible they were and how potentially deadly the situation could have been. They get the duh.
Duh.
All right, let's get a look at our forecast one more time. It's always brought to us by The Garden Gate in Sigourney. Widespread frost, a possibility this morning, otherwise sunny, and a high of 58 with breezy winds, west winds gusting up maybe to 30 miles per hour today. That's your forecast here on the Morning Wake Up. As always, brought to us by Stam Garden Center, where you can experience the color. Stam Garden Center in Oskaloosa. Get in there this weekend. They're always open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and then closed on Sundays. Hey, we're broadcasting live, as always, each weekday morning from the Oski Dental Studios. All right, coming up later on today here on Steve Shetler Media, it's a Friday. We do have In Remembrance Of coming up right at 8 a.m. We'll have the Iowa Music Showcase live from Barn Wired at 11:30 with Jake Beatty. So make sure you tune in for that. Later on today, Successful Farming at 5:30. Of course, we'll get all our good stuff that we put out on Facebook as well throughout the day. So lots to get to today here on Steve Shetler Media. Of course, tomorrow morning we'll also be at Brothers Market in Sigourney for the sports section. Okay, that'll do it for this Friday's Morning Wake Up. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back here on Monday morning at 7 a.m. We'll see you then.